Just 7 questions and we're done. Okay. So what motivated you to pursue a career in law enforcement, and how has that motivation evolved over time?
Thank you for having me here. I've been dealing with this mic for a while, a long time, but not in this kind of setting. There's something very special about being here, and I feel highly honored to be sitting here. Thank you for this very unusual setting, and I appreciate that. So I'll try to answer your question. My foray into the law enforcement career is not a very straightforward one. And so I might not be able to just answer you in a sentence. Mm-hmm. The truth really is, growing up, policing was never one of the things I've ever thought of doing. Mm-hmm. I've always wanted to be a lawyer, a journalist, mm-hmm. A lecturer, mm-hmm. stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And then someday, I just finished my SSC. I had written my JAMB and I was mm-hmm. waiting for the result. Mm-hmm. And then the vice principal of my secondary school, mm-hmm. and for your knowledge, for your information, I attended a secondary school mm-hmm. in my village. So mm-hmm. I was brought up in the village. Mm-hmm. And so the vice principal of my school drove down to our family house mm-hmm. and told me there's a recruitment going on in the police, mm-hmm. and he just heard it over the radio while he was driving. Mm-hmm. He was driving a Peugeot 504 then. I remember clearly.
Is it the side stick or
yeah. So he said he just heard the announcement on the radio, mm-hmm. and that they say they needed very young persons to mm-hmm. go to police academy, that they are setting up the Nigerian Police Academy in Kano, and that he thinks is something worth trying. Mm-hmm. And that they say they needed persons who have got credits in mathematics, mm-hmm. English, and mm-hmm. all that. And that he knows I'm qualified. Mm-hmm. I looked straight into his face and I told him, "Sir, I think you're drunk." I've always been a very audacious young person, and I didn't spare him. Mm-hmm. I practically cursed him, mm-hmm. and so he left. Mm-hmm. He came back the next day. This time around, he was prepared for me. Mm-hmm. So he just came to the house, and then he said, "Frank, dress up." Mm-hmm. Now he was talking to me like my teacher.
Yes.
And then he said, "Frank, dress up and get into the car." Mm. So I dressed up, I got into the car. He said, "Go and get your credentials." Mm-hmm. I went, got my credentials, mm-hmm. and then we got into the car. Mm-hmm. And then he drove me straight to Bolafo police station. Mm-hmm. If you're a traveler to the southeast, you must be familiar with Bolafo. It's like Ore or Umunede, that kind of
border town.
Yeah, border town.
Yes.
Stopping point. Mm-hmm. So he took me straight to the police station in Obolafo. I refused to come out from the car. He went down, met with the DPO, had conversations with him, and then the DPO told him, "I have to go to Enugu to get the form." Mm-hmm. So he took me to the park, mm-hmm. where the vehicles mm-hmm. going to mm-hmm. Enugu are, mm-hmm. were then. Mm-hmm. And then he paid for my transport fare, mm-hmm. handed over extra cash to me, mm-hmm. and warned the the driver. He said, "This is my son. He's a very stubborn child. I know if I leave here, he's going to come out from this car and run away. If he does that, I'll deal with you." And so as soon as he left, the man, it was an L300 bus. So the man took me from the back, put me in the front seat, sandwiched me between himself and one other passenger. He kept abusing me until we got to Enugu. And then he drove me, he veered off his regular route and went very close to the police headquarters and showed me the police headquarters. He said, "This is where your dad said you're going. If you want to run away from here." So I got there. But when I got there, I saw a lot of other young people. I saw so many people being dropped off in different vehicles. Some of them I think were quite exotic as at then. I met the police PRO who just saw me and liked me. I was the smallest, I was the youngest, tiny. So he just saw me and liked me. And then he took interest in me, took me around, took me to the mess, bought me a meal. You know, I saw a whole lot of things I never knew about the police. They were preparing for Independence Parade then. He took me to Polo. If
Polo
you know
Park?
Enugu,
Yes.
there is a place called Polo Ground or so.
Polo Park.
Polo Park.
Yes,
He took me
Independence
where
Park.
the police officers and soldiers were doing rehearsal for Independence Parade. I saw mounted troopers on horses. I saw the PMF men. I saw guns. And then I developed the interest. And that's how my sojourn started. I went through the entire process. At a point, I was rejected. They actually sent me away. They said my chest was too tiny. So the same PRO saw me crying. At this point in time, I'm falling in love. So it was a 360 degrees from hating the man who marketed the police to me to falling in love and then wanting to be a police officer. So the police PRO saw me again. That's just God working and putting people at different places for me. And then he saw me crying. He was like, "What again?" And then he took me and went back to those people. In my SSC, I had A's all through. So he told them, "Have you ever seen this kind of result? This is the kind of people we're looking for. Why would you even want to turn him away?" And then he said, this is very young person. He's still growing. If he goes to police academy, he's going to eat beans. And when he eats beans, he will do press up and his chest will grow. And again, those old inspectors, old men then, they brought me back and then they started taking down my details again and they were still abusing me. Idiot. You never even enter police. You don't use connection on us. And that's how it started. So it was much later.
Yes.
I got to know that this man who marketed the police to me,
Yes.
who is still like my father up to today,
Yes.
when he finished from Yaba Tech years ago, I was told that then the military and the police used to go to the universities to do recruitment. They go to advertise and recruit. So he got enlisted into the police as a cadet ASP.
Okay.
He was excited. He came back and told his father. His father just simply said, "Wow, that's so nice. Can I see the employment later,
yes.
the appointment later?" And then he gave it to the father and the father tore it. And so, as at the time he was a vice principal, his mates in the police were deputy commissioners. And he he up to today, he lives with regrets that he never had that opportunity. He ended up the highest point of his career was principal of a village secondary school. And every time he looked back, he felt his father, out of ignorance, stopped him from being what could probably have been more useful to the family and to the community than what he did until his retirement. So that was how I got into the police. I thought my sojourn in the police was going to be brief, actually, and that was why when I was choosing my universities, I felt I should go to Dundee, study petroleum law, and get out of the police. But again, destiny kept me here because as soon as I came back from Dundee, I was sent to Liberia under the UN peacekeeping mission for the UN peacekeeping mission. And when I got to Liberia, I saw the international part of policing. I met police officers from all parts of the world, UK, US, Ukraine, everywhere, Norway, Denmark. And I saw myself being courted by everyone. I'm like, wow, so we're this good. I was shocked that I did exams with most of them when they were trying to select who will be the personal assistant to the UN Police Commissioner. It was an open contest between us with so many others. I came tops. We did about 3 exams, and I kept coming tops until the end, until I got that appointment. And I keep seeing that even all the people we felt were bigger than us in the law enforcement career, we kept dusting them each time there are assignments to do. And when there are tough jobs to be done, they look for us to deliver. And then I just came back, I said, I think this is where I should be. And that's how it is.
Thank you so much. So, the fascinating thing in life is that guardian angels come in different packages. The lesson from your experiences, we should, one, maximize opportunities, and secondly, do not underestimate anyone. You never really know. They may be the ones that would, be the door opener, basically.
For me, there are a couple of lessons. Number one, like you rightly said, your guardian angel can be anyone. Anybody can be the messenger. And just listen. And when people tells you of an opportunity, even at this level we are today, except for some opportunities. I'm not saying when somebody tells you there's an MMM investment scheme, we should be able to know when there are Ponzi schemes. But when people offer genuine advice, listen to them. Interrogate those offers, those advice. You might not just know when God is sending a helper to you. And that's one of them. Number two is people should not stop their kids from walking the path they want to walk. Because when I became convinced that this is worth doing, I had a lot of resistance. Practically everybody in my village, everybody in my church, everyone I know, all my friends, big, small, those in the universities already, nobody supported me. I had just few people who supported this dream then. My mom was very, very strong. She will take me inside, lock me in the room, pray for me each time I'm going for interview, pray for me, spit into my hands, pray and pray and pray. She's an Idoma woman, so she's from Benue State. And she's from a family where they have a tradition of having uniform persons. So she understands. And so for those of us who are Igbo people, the uniform job is not something we liked to do.
I know.
But she coming in from Benue, marrying an Igbo man, she has a different background. And so she understands, and that was during the military rule. So she has a lot of cousins, uncle, who were doing very well in the military, in the police, in the customs, and other auxiliary services. So she was just there for me. But the bulk of other persons who were supposed to support me, everybody kept saying, Frank, Emeka, Emeka. So, and that's it. But today, I can say comfortably that almost every family in my local government, not just in my immediate community, want their son or daughter to go to police academy.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. So I would ask the question that spills into this. So what advice would you give to young professionals aspiring to join the law enforcement field, especially in a rapidly changing social and political environment?
First of all, I would say it is a beautiful thing to do. You know, I tell people, see, the law enforcement profession, right, is if you're a very religious person who wants to go to heaven, whether you're a Muslim or a Christian, the easiest way to go to heaven is to be a police officer.
Okay.
And I'm saying this authoritatively. The easiest way to go to heaven is to be a police officer. Now listen. Listen, can you just listen? You know why? The reason is because your job, from day to day job, every